Ladies and gents, welcome to Marda Times, your source for deep geopolitical insights from across Africa and the wider world. Today, we dive into one of the most complex and high-stakes regions on Earth, the Horn of Africa. From Egypt to Ethiopia, from Sudan to Somalia, new alliances are forming, and rival militaries are positioning themselves along one of the world's busiest maritime routes, the Red Sea. Stay with us as we unpack the political tensions, the military balance, and the battle for influence shaping the future of this critical region. The Horn of Africa has become the stage for a renewed struggle over influence, access, and survival. Sitting between the Red Sea and the Nile Basin, this region is witnessing rival alliances and rapid militarization that could redefine Africa's security landscape. In this program, we will explore the coalitions shaping the Horn, compare their military strength, and reveal why control of the Red Sea and the Nile has become central to both national and international power games. The Horn's importance begins with its geography. It guards the southern gate of the Red Sea and the Suez Canal, the lifeline of global trade linking Europe and Asia. Politically, it bridges Africa and the Middle East, connecting the continent to the Gulf and the Indian Ocean. And militarily, it is a chessboard of conventional armies, tribal militias, and foreign bases, all vying for leverage. These dynamics are fueling the emergence of two rival blocs, each defined by security fears, historical grievance, and strategic ambition. The first alliance, Bloc A, brings together Egypt, Sudan, Eritrea, and Saudi Arabia, of course sometimes Djibouti. These nations are bound by geography and the Red Sea's coastal corridor. Egypt is the heavyweight of this camp. Its power rooted in the Nile and its reach extended through the Red Sea. Determined to protect its water interests and maritime routes, Cairo has intensified ties across the Horn, investing in port access, training programs, and security cooperation to offset Ethiopia's growing influence. Sudan, meanwhile, is torn apart by civil war, but its coastline remains a prize every regional actor covets. Whoever controls Port Sudan holds the keys to trade and naval movement in the western Red Sea. Eritrea, though small, plays an outsized role. Its battle-hardened army and strategic coastline have reportedly supported Sudan's regular forces and served as a logistics route for operations near Port Sudan. Djibouti, for its part, is the smallest yet perhaps most strategic player, home to military bases from the United States, China, France, Japan, and others. Its geography at the Bab el-Mandeb Strait gives it immense values as a global security hub. Facing them is Bloc B, Ethiopia, South Sudan, sometimes Somalia, and Kenya. Nations driven by the quest for stability, sea access, and regional balance. Ethiopia, the second most populous nation in Africa, anchors this bloc. After years of internal conflict, Addis Ababa is rebuilding its armed forces and expanding its diplomatic reach. Of course, under this bloc, there is United Arab Emirates. Its 2024 deal with Somaliland to lease coastline was a bold, a controversial move that angered Somalia and reshuffled regional alliance. Somalia, emerging from decades of turmoil, rejects any recognition of Somaliland's independence and has made its territorial integrity a national red line. South Sudan, though weak militarily, is politically significant. Its oil routes and borders link directly to Ethiopia's western flank. Kenya, the region's stabilizer, brings strong armed forces, a capable navy, and extensive peacekeeping experience. Its government has positioned itself as a mediator, proposing a maritime treaty to prevent escalation between Ethiopia and Somalia, proof that Nairobi seeks diplomacy over confrontation. Militarily, the two blocs reflect different kinds of power. Bloc A enjoys superior conventional strength. Egypt's army and air force are among the most advanced in Africa, with modern jets, tanks, and naval assets patrolling both the Mediterranean and the Red Sea. Sudan's army, though fragmented by war, retains armored divisions and artillery, while Eritrea's troops, though fewer, are seasoned from years of conflict and adept in unconventional warfare. Djibouti's national forces are small, but the global powers stationed there make it its territory and never center for intelligence and logistics. Bloc B relies more on manpower, strategic, geography, and diplomacy. Ethiopia commands one of Africa's largest armies, currently modernizing after the Tigray War, and while it lacks a navy, it is Somaliland Dell signals determination to secure one. Kenya's military combines professionalism with real combat experience. Somalia's army is rebuilding with foreign support, and South Sudan remains a minor player but a useful ally in regional politics. Across the Horn, flashpoints are multiplying. The first is Port Sudan, whose control is fiercely contested. With the civil war dividing Sudan, foreign actors see the port as the gateway to the Red Sea and beyond. The second is the Nile Basin, where Egypt and Ethiopia continue to spar over the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. The dam symbolizes progress for Ethiopia, but an existential threat for Egypt. The third flashpoint lies in Somaliland, where Ethiopia's port access deal triggered diplomatic storms. Each of these issues, maritime, hydrological, and political, could ignite broader confrontation. External powers add another layer of tension. Djibouti hosts the world's most concentrated collection of foreign military bases, a literal map of global competition. The United States Camp Lemonnier serves as a major counter-terrorism hub. China's naval base next door reflects Beijing's global ambitions. France, Japan, and Italy maintain facilities, as well as turning Djibouti into a staging point for great power rivalry. Meanwhile, Gulf states, Turkey, and the Western nations are investing heavily in Horn infrastructure, ports, and energy projects, ensuring that local conflicts are never purely local. Yet, amid all the militarization, the human cost is rising. The war in Sudan has already displaced millions. Border clashes and political instability threaten food security across the region. As each government fortifies its borders or pursues new alliances, ordinary civilians bear the consequences through hunger, displacement, and loss of livelihoods. Still, diplomatic openness remains. Kenya's Maritime Treaty Initiative, African Union mediation, and cautious dialogue between Ethiopia and Somalia suggest that peace is possible if states put regional stability ahead of zero-sum rivalry. Control over the Horn's coasts and rivers is about more than borders. It is about survival and influence, a world where geography still dictates power. Egypt's bloc to the north and Ethiopia's coalition to the south are both maneuvering for advantage, but neither can win without cooperation. The Horn of Africa now stands at a historic crossroads. Its next chapter, whether toward war or partnership, will shape the fate of not just its people, but also the global trade routes that pass through its waters. Thank you for watching and listening. If you found this analysis insightful, please like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth reports on Marda Times. Tell us in the comments which alliance do you think holds the upper hand in the Horn of Africa's new power struggle. Goodbye from me now.